I gave you my love, I tell you what I do. I'd expect a whole lot of love out of you. You got to be good to me. I'm gonna be good to you. There's a whole lot of things you and I could do. Yeah. Baby. Yeah. What about the way you love me? And the way you squeeze me. Yeah. Yeah, you're simply beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. When you get right down to it. Oh. Baby, when you needed me, I was right there. Beside you, girl, and I kiss, baby, baby, baby. Hey, no, girl. Sometimes when you're feeling low, all you got to do is call me. You're simply beautiful, baby. Oh, oh, baby. There's so many good things I could say about you, girl. I could say that I really,
Peace, Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio. Place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge One Alive. We are here, excuse me, to pay tribute and homage to the mystic, mastermind, soul stirring genius known to the world as Al Green on the scene. So yeah, I want to talk about Al Green. Come through and vibe with us. We about to get started. Show a little love. I know I couldn't do it without my soul sister. So let's welcome to the stage and to the microphone. Soul Sister Sass in the building.
Shalom, and good night. How are you?
Shalom and good night. That's what I'm talking about.
Lila Toe. Yeah. Lila Toe.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Reverend Al was singing, "Everything gonna be all right." You understand what I'm saying? Everything gonna
Reverend
be all
Al. Is
right.
that what you call him? Reverend?
Hey,
Reverend Al.
Reverend was making some things happen. Let me give a quick shout out to D-Lake. Okay, you heard?
Mm, I didn't know he had a
Okay,
book. He's
got
book.
this in the mail today. This is the second
Oh, cool.
book. You understand? Got that autograph. Yeah.
Nice.
Hashtag unbookable. And I don't know if we're gonna do this today or when we're gonna do it, but I got 8 books. 8 books. 8 books for 8 loyal supporters. Support us. Can I say support us? Support us. Yeah.
Support us.
And support us. So 8 people who really been rocking with the show since we've been visual.
Showing all that you love.
So I got a book for you. It's a thick book now. This ain't no look, you see that? That page
That's
right
crazy.
there.
What's in it?
This is his life story. You see what I'm saying? The journey behind the smile.
Wow.
We get into the
That's
real.
a lot
You
of
might
life.
laugh, you might cry, you might cuss, you might fuss. You're gonna get into all of that. Okay? And when I read it, I'm gonna bring my brother back on, even though he's not bookable. Hopefully he'll be bookable for one more go, and we can tell him how much we love this book. Okay? So shout out to D-Lake. And let me see what else
Is
I
that
got
book
over
light?
here real quick. Is it light? Nah.
Yeah, is it light or is it like kind of heavy? Oh.
You could whoop your child with this book. You understand what I'm saying?
You could
If
whoop
they
your
got down
child
the
with the
line.
book.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
We quarantining. You understand? We quarantining. Okay. So
Yeah, this quarantine.
shout out to
Yeah.
my sister Fabi X.
Anything liable to happen.
Fabi X. Okay. Shout out to Fari. The shit starts with you. Bomb book. Just got it in the mail. Got the ebook. Now I got the physical book with the autograph. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Cool. Shout out to Fari X.
boom. You know, I'm sure you should have got the ebook. I think you got the ebook, right?
Yep. Got it.
Yes.
Thank you, Fari X.
So I got 8. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ebbs. Ebbs was stunting. So I had to go check the mail because Ebbs was stunting like I got mine in the mail today. Autograph. Boom. So she was stunting. I was like, all right, then. I bet to have. You know what I'm saying? Got my shit in the mail. So, and behold, you know what I'm saying? Behold, it was up in there. You understand what I'm saying?
Shalom, Ebbs.
Shout out to my brother Tank in the building, man. Shout out Tank. We got to coordinate something this week. You understand what I'm saying? We got to coordinate something this week. See if we can get our schedules to work. Tank is a true one. You know what I'm saying? And y'all hear his story. He comes on. So, let's see what's going on. There's still Al Green birthday somewhere in the world. You know what I'm saying? In the South. You know what I'm saying? On the West Coast. It's still going down over here.
In Texas, yeah.
Okay.
Even in Arkansas,
Yeah,
where he was born. But yeah.
Right. Hey, let's get into it. Let's get into it. For the supporters out here, for the Al Green supporters.
Absolutely, for the supporters.
Most of y'all who got some age on you, y'all was birthed off Al Green. You understand what I'm saying? I was birthed.
I'm not trying to find that out.
Birthed it. Okay, off of Al Green.
I'm not trying to find that out. Okay. Mm-mm.
Yeah, this is the month of the this supposed to be poetry month, but this was like slang month. If you look at whose birthdays in this month, Luther Vandross, you know what I'm saying? There's a couple of slangers up in this month right here, okay? So I was getting birthed it, unless you were born in 2000. Unfortunately, um, you were birthed it off of Back That Ass Up, or what was it? What was in 2000? That was crazy. We were born
9/11.
off some
What?
mystical song, some some mystical song, or some Air Force Ones or something. Two per, yeah, it was
Ray
two
J.
per.
Wait
Too
a
many.
minute. Ray J.
Uh,
Wait a minute
I'm,
with Lil Kim.
oh yeah, yeah.
I was in Vegas.
We apologize
Time,
in
but yeah.
advance to some of you who were birthed it after these uncanny artists. Oh man. Some of you were born
Wasn't
off
Jay
Little
Z's
Johnny.
volume 2 out in 2000? Wait a minute. I think
Yeah, some of you were birthed off of
volume 3
Let's
was
Do It
out.
Again.
Volume
Yeah.
3.
No, volume 2.
Yeah, volume 3. Volume 2, I was
No,
right.
volume
Okay.
2.
Yeah. All right. 'Cause he
Yeah.
was in Vegas too when I was there. So that's how I remember
Yeah,
that.
volume
Yeah.
3 came out like the next year or something like that.
I
Every
like volume
summer it
3
was something
actually.
since he came out. Yeah.
That song with Foxy Brown is on that
Oh
one. That song is
no,
dope.
you was right then.
I gotta play that.
It was volume 3.
Volume 3.
Got
Okay.
to got to be because
Because Foxy on that album.
Blueprint came out 2001.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Do It Again. Y'all was born off of Do It Again. Birthed it off Do It Again. And Uchi Wally and what else came out? It's after 12
Oh
o'clock.
man.
My bad. Okay.
Oh my God.
Your parents was less cultured. So y'all were birthed it off of Uchi Wally. Uchi Wally Wally. Uchi Bang Bang.
They 20 years old today,
Okay.
right? They 20 years old. Yeah.
Right.
Parents,
Shout
yeah.
out to them. Shout out to them. And shout out to their irresponsible ass parents. Yeah.
For real.
Reals. So yeah. My bad. Sass, the floor is yours. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right, I'm reading from Black Past because I wanted to read from Black Past first before I go to the other one. The other source. Okay, so Al Green, 1948. That's when he was born. He is still alive and kicking. Hallelujah. Al Green, born on April 13, 1948 in Forest City, Arkansas, is known as one of the great rhythm and blues singers of 1970s. He was born Albert Green with an E on the end to Cora and Robert Green, who were sharecroppers and parents of 10 other children. Green and some of his siblings were part of a family gospel quartet called the Greens Brothers. The group started when Green was 9 and toured around the South until the family moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan in the mid 1950s. Green was kicked out of the band by his father when he was caught listening to Jackie Wilson, a popular R&B artist. At 16, Green dropped the E off his last name and with high school friends created an R&B group called Al Green and the Creations. The group recorded a few songs, including Backup Train, which reached number 5 on the R&B charts in 1968. Subsequent singles were less popular, and in 1969, 21-year-old Green signed to High Records, where he and Willie Mitchell, the company's vice president, recorded his debut album, Green is Blues, released in early 1970. The album was well received and set the stage for Green's successful career. Green released his next album, Al Green Gets Next to You, at the end of 1970, which featured his first single hit, Tired of Being Alone. That video was crazy. In 1972, Green released Let's Stay Together, which reached number 8 on the pop charts. And 4 months later, he released I'm Still in Love with You, which reached number 4 on the charts. His singles Call Me, Here I Am, and Sha La La Make Me Happy, which became top 10 gold singles, prove Al Green's musical strength. In 1974, however, Green's girlfriend at the time, Mary Woodson, committed suicide with Green's revolver. Green believed this violent act was a sign from God to enter the ministry. By 1976, 28-year-old Green was ordained and became the pastor of the Full Gospel Tabernacle, a church he purchased in Memphis, Tennessee. Despite focusing more time in the church, he continued to produce 3 more albums in 1975 and 1976, but lost much of his fan base as the music began to sound formulaic and disco music became popular. In 1977, Green left High Records to produce his music under his own label, American Music. He produced 2 albums in this time, but in 1979, after a fall on stage, he believed God wanted him to move away from secular music and sing more gospel. Besides recording the song Put a Little Love in Your Heart with Annie Lennox for the movie Scrooge in 1988, Al Green did not return to popular music until 2000. He recorded his last album, Lay It Down, in 2008. In 1995, Green was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio. In 2004, he was inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame and the I'm sorry. In 1995, Green was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Ohio. In 2004, he was inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame. I did not know that existed. And the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And in 2009, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from BET. All right, so I'm going to move over here. So that's the general biography, but I want to talk about the music career a little bit, and how and why he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the performance category. In 1995, that's when it happened, and he was inducted by Natalie Cole. The same year, a group called Martha and the Mandels, which I thought was interesting, was also inducted in there. Martha Reeves is from New Jersey, and she still lives in New Jersey, like down the street from my house. So I was like really happy to see that on the website. And then the Orioles, a 4-man band, not a band, singing group, and they fall under the category early influences. So those are the 2 groups with people of color inducted along with Al Green. So this is how it goes.
People of who?
People of color, Black people, African people.
I don't know them colored people. We don't fuck with them colored people.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. So Black people. Black first. Black power always. I know all aesthetic generalizations are open to perpetual debate, but try these on for size. Al Green isn't just the last soul man, except for James Brown. He's the greatest. And except for Aretha Franklin, he's also the most gifted singer ever to work the turf. In fact, he may even be the finest vocalist rock and roll has ever known. Can you believe that? This is what the Rock and Roll Hall of Famers are saying. the finest vocalist rock and roll has ever known, even though he retired from secular music 15 years ago. So he was still relevant, even though he stopped making music. That's amazing. Green was a major star in his brief heyday, putting 6 consecutive singles in Billboard's top 10 between 1972 and 1973. But his artistry has often been undervalued by people who should know better. He gets barely a sentence in the only history of soul to grant equal weight to the Stax Vault and Motown sensibilities that he synthesized and transcended. And he rates a mere 3 pages in the book, based in Memphis, where he has lived and worked as a recording artist for the last quarter of a century. This neglect is partly an accident of timing, because he concocted his style just as Black pop's visionary Youngbloods were figuring out punk and arriving at disco. He had wait a minute. He so the young people were into funk and disco at the time. So he had few advocates, and in the secular realm, no heirs. And partly it's due to his singular musical ideas. Soul goes nowhere without a bottom, and when Green worked with his greatest producer, Willie Mitchell, his records boasted an exceptionally fat and propulsive low range. He could and can belt off that bottom. That's why we treasure Al Green's Get Next to You, cut before his style was finalized. But his genius truly breaks free at and over the top of a register that darts and floats and soars into falsetto with startling frequency and beguiling ease. Green's brashly feminine and seductively woman-friendly signature sound was his ticket to stardom. Among soul's traditionalists already suspicious of his pop success, however, it cost him credibly. The main reason Green's music endured these cavils so spectacularly, the main reason it has long been viewed as classic, and the main reason he's now in the Hall of Fame is that it's beautiful. It's so gorgeous, so sexy, so physically attractive that denying its pleasures proved a deprivation that few who loved any kind of rock and roll were willing to live with. I concur with that. Al Green's music just makes me so happy. And I was expressing this earlier, you could feel like, the world is gonna, go crazy and haywire and stuff, but when you turn on Al Green's music, it's like, it's just so good. It's so great. But Green's acute musical intelligence also helped. He's a structurally unconventional composer whose lyrics veer savvily between stone simple romantic vows and tormented reveries on the heaven and earth split that infuses and haunts all soul music. But Green's best remembered recorded performances aren't just lovely pop songs. They showcase an almost jazz-like filigree that only Marvin Gaye and Aretha have ever approached. Although it's been reported that Green can spend hundreds of hours perfecting one vocal, often his music sounds off the cuff, if not out of left field, and anyone who's seen him on stage knows how unpredictable his live flights can be. The miracle is that once you're aware of this contradiction, it disappears. Fabricated or improvised, you can't tell, and it doesn't matter. He seems to inhabit a state of late night hyper-consciousness in which obsessive calculation and unmoored inspiration meet on the other side of the moon. Green was born on a sharecropped Arkansas farm in 46 and grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He had sung in a family gospel quartet, as I mentioned before, and formed his own pop group before soul music knew its name, but only in 1970, with one minor 1967 hit, All Too Far Behind Him, did a 1969 encounter with Willie Mitchell in Midland, Texas, induce him to seek his fortune in Memphis. There was chart action by early 1970, but not until late that year when a cover of The Temptations, "I Can't Get Next to You," was a major R&B hit. Did Green and Mitchell feel they were on the way? And not until the end of 1972, with "Tired of Being Alone." Um, wait a minute. Yep. "Tired of Being Alone." So I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna go back. So, "Tired of Being Alone." Okay. So Mitchell and Green, now shorn of the E, took their time building a sound and style for the singer after he relocated to Memphis and signed to High Records. The pair were finding their feet on the first album together, Green covering George Gershwin's "Summertime" and offering a straight, surprisingly inessential cover of the Beatles' "Get Back." But by their second LP, the partnership was slipping into gear. An audacious cover of The Temptations' "I Can't Get Next to You" gave a Green minor hit, but it was "Tired of Being Alone" that defined his signature sound. Mitchell had set up a studio in a former cinema and believed the sloping floor gave the expansive quality to the frequencies. He had also assembled a great studio band. Over the years, as the formula became more successful, others tried to copy it, replicating Mitchell's equipment, setup, and instrumentation. But there was an indefinable magic that proved impossible for anyone else to channel. The lyric of "The Tired of Being Alone" had come to Green after he was awoken by music in his head during a stopover on his way back to Memphis after a gig in Detroit. Dawn was breaking as he finished the song, at which point he returned to his motel bed and fell straight back to sleep. Little wonder then if song and performance share some of the qualities of a dream. So that's the background on "Tired of Being Alone." And all right, so I'm gonna go here. It says, and until the end of 1972, with "Tired of Being Alone," its number one follow-up, "Let's Stay Together." Um, did they perfect their popular formula? So "Let's Stay Together." It says here, he may have been a peerless singer, but Al Green was not the greatest judge of a song. His first chart topper was a case in point. Mitchell presented Green with the bare bones of a track which the singer didn't care for. Mitchell pressed him to write lyrics to it, but Green believed this was a ruse to make him keener to record and release the song because he would then earn writing royalties. Green relented. He claims he wrote the lyric in 5 minutes, but spent a quarter of an hour in the studio lobby just so Mitchell would think he'd taken it seriously. For the other 10 minutes, he drank Coke and watched a boxing match on TV. The pair argued for 2 days before Green eventually agreed to record it, and even that process was fraught. As Mitchell tried repeatedly to get Green to sing the song with more softness and warmth, eventually, by his account, Green performed the song the way the producer wanted, just to put an end to the ordeal. "Whatever you want to do is all right with me, indeed." None of this backstage combat is evident in the record is a testament both to Mitchell's acute understanding of his art and Green's superlative skills as a singer. So there was drama behind um, "Let's Stay Together." It almost didn't happen, basically. So it says here, a shifting amalgam of cream and grit, fluff and guts, feathery strings and power-packed beats, wayward promises and passionate truths. That's how they explain or this is how they describe "Let's Stay Together." So I'll read it again. A shifting amalgam of cream and grit, fluff and guts, feathery strings and power-packed beats, wayward promises and passionate truths. Uh, although, let me get there. Although Green remained a supernatural cover artist, eventually the Doors, the Bee Gees, I like the Doors, the Bee Gees, Hank Williams, Willie Nelson, Roy Orbison, and Unchained Melody would all get the treatment. By this time, he was writing most of his own material, often with Mitchell and sometimes with drummer Al Jackson Jr. or organist Teenie Hodges. Although he was always marketed as a singles artist, his groove as well as his song sense ensured that all 11 albums he cut between 1970 and 1979 would sustain start to finish. His greatest hits collection make surefire gifts, but Green lovers should just collect the whole set, starting, I suppose, with Living, Call Me 1973, Living for You 1973, I'm Still in Love with You 1972, Al Green Gets Next to You 1970, and the Bell album 1977. The Bell album signaled a departure. Green's first self-production, it got an airier sound from the same musicians featured on his Mitchell recordings. And because many of the Green songs implied religious themes, the Bell album was where his spiritual balancing act, earlier captured in all of its precarious brilliance by the likes of Jesus is Waiting and his universally acknowledged masterpiece, Take Me to the River, negotiated a term that would become official in 1980 when Green cut the first of many gospel albums. Already pastor and proprietor of Memphis Full Gospel Tabernacle, he dedicated himself solely to devotional music and immediately became the sensation of the gospel circuit. Most of Green's Christian albums aren't as readily accessible to non-believers as his secular work. Try 1982's Fervent Higher Plane or 1987's pop-tinged Soul Survivor first, or as musically inspired. but they're never less than solid, and eventually Green began to broaden his interpretation of what constitute musical service to the Lord, even cutting a pure pop album with Fine Young Cannibals, David Steele, good Lord, David Steele and Andy Cox. As Green approaches 50, his voice is showing a few rough spots, as voices will. Yet it remains surpassingly youthful even so, still hinting at the access to eternity that has the goal of his art in all its guises. And after all, defining mortality is what rock and rollers have been doing since the first rush wore off around 1958 or so. We know we're not going to get away with it forever, but we intend to put our timing in trying. Okay, so Love and Happiness is this is what was said about it. In the early part of his career, Green had blended the church music he'd grown up singing in secular styles he absorbed against his father's wishes by incorporating overt gospel tracks alongside ballads and love songs on his albums. With Love and Happiness, he and co-writer Maybon Teenie Hodges managed to amalgamate both. A driving, insistent pulse powered by Teenie's brother Charles's organ gives the song a sweaty, feral fug, but at the same time evokes church and spirituality. In his breathy, a cappella intro, Green sets up the dualities between doing wrong and doing right. Doing wrong, doing right. You know that part. The backing vocals could come from the stage in an after-hours Saturday night club or the choir stalls of a Sunday morning. As Green is stretched out on the song's rack, his punchy exhortations and despairing moans shading every inch of the conflict and confusion the lyrics outline in one song. Okay, so Green, and this is the end. Green married Shirley Kiles in 1977. In 1983, Shirley filed for divorce after years of domestic violence. They had 3 daughters together, Alva, Ruby, and Cora. He also has 2 more sons, Al Green Jr. and Trevor, and another daughter, Kayla. Green lives in Memphis and remains the minister of Full Gospel Full Gospel Tabernacle Church. And that's what I got, knowledge. You have any questions?
That's crazy right there. That's crazy.
That's crazy right there. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's why you're supposed to just keep making records. You understand what I'm saying? And keep them people out your private life because they will thrash you. Okay?
He stopped
They will
making
thrash
music, but he stopped making music, but he made it in there.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he made it in there, and that's
We know the
crazy.
infamous grit situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, like, yo, a lot of stuff going on
Yeah,
out there.
it seemed like Al was a prophet. I mean, God was trying to show him, and yep, and he became successful after every time, after each time.
Right.
So
I
that's
mean,
the background on why he became a pastor, because his girlfriend committed suicide with his gun. So that's sad.
yeah, definitely
Mm-hmm.
sad. And then, we seen a lot of those, type of situations, and we still see them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We still see them today. Dealing with them pressures of success. Many of us have those aspirations to be successful, and particularly in the music industry. And if you've seen a lot of that stuff that happened, if you research, a lot of those blues singers, you know, a lot of them jazz singers, all of that. Um, as far as drug addiction goes, that entertainment industry was like the marquee place for you to be strung out on drugs. Like before it hit the streets, it was in the entertainment industry. You see what I'm saying? So if you look at a lot of those musicians, you know, you could just go down the damn line. You understand what I'm saying? So whether we talking about James, whether we talking about Rick, you know what I'm saying? Whether we
Yeah.
talking about any of them, you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it kind of set the stage. You see what I'm saying? You hear them Euros talk about sex, drug, and rock and roll. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
You look at Jimmy. All of
Mm-hmm.
these young talents, things like that, and he's fortunate enough to still be around.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a lot of them died very young. You know,
Right.
we just was talking about Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye was killed by his own daddy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In a drugged up state. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, many of great have fell victim. We was talking about Gil Scott Heron. You know what I mean? So you look at all of that. You know, uh, James Brown had the song King Heroin. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
stoned to the damn bone. You understand what I'm saying? Like, shh. So a lot of the impact. We talk about the social impact of hip hop and the drug culture. It got preceded greatly by a whole slew of genres that preceded it. You see what I'm saying? So this is the last one to the show, but it's the most personified in regards to perceived impact around the world. So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of thankful he got a chance to still live his life, and hopefully he working to atone from some of those things that he done, and you know find a way to come out of this an example what not to do. You know what I'm saying? For some
Right.
other people. I wonder how his children see him. We see him as this great recording artist. This mastermind of music. You know, How do his children see him? You know, I know when BB transitioned, BB was on. He was on the road until he, you know, passed away.
Yep.
So yeah, He did something kind of like Ray Charles with switching genres. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ray Charles went through all of the genres.
Mhm.
You know, and you would see that when a lot of folks in the entertainment industry. Remember Nas made reference. He said, what did Al Green see to make him religious?" You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
So if you remember that reference, and you think about people like Della Reese and many of them, you know, what's going on in the entertainment industry? Who did they meet? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Who did they meet? That joked them and pushed them back, towards right guidance. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
there's plenty of people, you know. Mace, Mace went to
Yeah, base
he
boy.
went for Mace
He
murdered the
off the
pastor
chain.
Mace. Yeah,
Mhm. And even
yeah,
Run from Run
that,
DMC.
right. There's a law, but that's not the only path. There's a lot of different paths that's along there. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Some brothers and sisters in the industry, they came into the Israelite culture. Some went to Islam, and many different facets. You see what I'm saying along the way. So you know,
Right.
when you're young and impressionable, if you don't have a culture or if you didn't follow a particular culture because you didn't do nothing new outside of your house, that's the first
Mhm.
thing that we got to get established as black people. You go where you were sent.
Right.
Otherwise, you face some consequences. But when you go along your path along the way, you know, he was a child already. Like we seen what happened with the Jacksons. When you put this kind of pressure on the children, you see what I'm saying? They never get a chance to grow or be children. You see what I'm saying? So you put them all, and that's indiscriminate to profession. You know, you have these children out here, they don't even get to be children, and they get thrusted
Right.
into whatever the family business is. And you see, he got kicked out the group. What
Yep.
does that do to your psychology already? You see what I'm saying? So there are a lot of things that are there, and just knowing over the years how readily accessible and how readily available drugs and alcohol are to those in the entertainment industry.
Well, obviously he has some issues because if you look at that that Soul Train video of I'm so tired of being alone, man.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, what is going on over here? Okay. All right. But
You remember that epic scene from Dead Presidents, right? With it
yes.
on,
Yeah, yeah,
and you know what I'm
yeah.
saying, and
Mhm.
Chris Tucker, like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then you see kind of what happened with Chris Tucker too. You see
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So if we look at the entertainment industry as a whole, look at the comedians, look at the singers, look at the rappers. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Yep. That was
Who
like
said that? Was it Eddie Griffin? I think Eddie Griffin was in. He was in an interview somewhere, and he was like, "Nobody gets to leave this industry clean." You see what I'm
mm,
saying? No, he
mm,
said no black man for that fact. You see what I'm saying? Gets
ah,
a chance to leave that industry clean. Like he's like they don't allow that shit. You see what
mm.
I'm saying? So if you look at a lot of these would be celebrities, you see a lot of these things that happen to them. So yeah.
Yep.
Damn
And
that epic soul, the epic soul train.
yeah, that was. I was
That
like,
was
all right.
wild.
Yeah, I was like,
All
okay,
right.
all right. I'm gonna act like I didn't see that. Yeah, yeah. That's what I said. I'm gonna act like I didn't see that. But it's interesting that his last album, um, it basically his music stopped because he just was not getting along with his producer anymore. And that could be
Mm,
a lot of reasons, had to fight over him with him to write Let's Stay Together and to put the song together. And that was it for those two. So then Love and Happiness came out and then that was it. So yeah. Yep, he's had it with him. So that was what 1978, 1979.
mm.
So yeah, so he had a good like 8 or 9 years, and then he went to the church. Yep. So let me see what when did they get?
Reverend Al.
Let me go back and look. When did he get divorced? Because yeah, that's about right. They got divorced in 1983, so that's about right. So he became a pastor. So obviously things wasn't going too good. So he had to turn to the creator. Yeah. But yeah, that's happy music. I mean the
Hmm.
organs that's at church in there, and I just love
Yeah.
it. I love everything about it. So yeah, and everybody tries to sing his songs. Everybody tries to sing it.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what for.
what who sings that song good? Maxwell sings that Simply Beautiful song beautifully. So that's probably the only one that can, you know.
I take your word for it.
But other than that, you know, I like Love and Happiness. That's
All
got to be
right.
like my favorite. Next to Simply Beautiful, right? So yeah. So that is Al Green, and and we honored him, right? So
Right.
right. I wonder who's next.
Mm. Let me look real quick. Let me look real quick at my stash. Yeah. Let me look at my stash right quick.
All right, look in your stash.
Still looking. That joint has stopped right on Martin Luther the King. You ain't never met no Martin Luther the King. Yes, I did. I walked down the alley, man, once ran my chest. I looked up, I said, Dr. King. So I thought you was somebody else.
Okay, so just to insert this in here, because Al Green was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame along with Martha and the Vandellas. So Martha is from New Jersey. They did that song "Dancing in the Streets." You
Mm.
know that song.
Yeah,
Heat Wave, okay,
yeah,
and Nowhere to Run, right?
yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, off the Warriors, you know what
yep,
I'm
that's
saying?
right. All right,
Tank, what's
that's
up with
right.
them Warriors, Tank?
Yep. And they came out with
This is for that bad new crew out of the BK,
yeah,
the Warriors.
yep, Nowhere to Run. Yep, yep. And also Jimmy Mack.
Mm,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yep, yep. So
Nowhere to run to, baby. It
here it
was
comes.
after them boys.
Yep, yep, yep. So let me
On the
see.
19th, we got Etheridge Night. Etheridge Night was the truth. And on the 20th, we got Lufa, Lil Lufa. Big Lufa or Lil Lufa? Who you got, Sass? Big Lufa or Lil Lufa?
It doesn't matter. Either one. Either one, it don't matter. It don't matter
So we got
because all the loofahs are man. Okay, all right. I'm gonna have to go with big. No, no.
okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Big Luther. House is not a home Luther.
Charlie Mingus. Yeah. Gucci Ma Rainey. She was the truth. Yeah. Mother of the Blues. Got to do that. And we got Duke Ellington. No. So we got some musicians
A
over
Train
here.
Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And April 30th, the same day as my older brother, Isaiah Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Greatest shooting guard to ever play basketball. I don't care about your feelings or your facts. Okay. Cedric the Entertainer is on the 24th. Granville T. Woods 23rd. So we got some. What's my man? Meadowlark Lemon on the 25th. We got a couple of more shows to do. You know. So what you think? Oh, they got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on here. You know what Dr. Wright said about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Do you remember when you told me that you love me, baby? Oh my God, that song right there. That's my favorite Luther song right there. I'm sorry, I was daydreaming about Luther. Okay, that was Big Luther. Okay.
Damn, we missed Herbie Hancock on the 12th.
Oh,
Herbie. And your boy Babyface on the 10th.
this is for the cooling you. That's my song. Day and night. Oh man.
Save it for 420. You know, everybody gonna be 420 in anyway, you know.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, or just the good? It's a lot of drama with Babyface. I'm just saying.
Oh, that was the 10th though. That's the 20th we
Oh,
talking about
okay,
for
good,
Lupo.
good. Okay, good. We don't have to touch Babyface. Okay,
Yeah, we ain't have to touch it.
that'll get a little dirty. But yeah, Luther.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to hear the marching bands play that song. Can we do? We probably say no. We could probably do Fantasia.
What?
Fantasia on her birthday.
Fantasia Barrino?
Yep.
When is that?
I don't know, but I would like to do. I mean, let me tell you something about her music. Like, she's one. Talk about relatable as a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Really, like, I mean, the songs are just so rich, and it's like, oh my God, for real. Like, she's like a real person. She has gone through situations that a lot of us has gone through, and it's just her being honest, and she puts it in the music, and it's amazing. I love everything about her music.
June 30th.
She can sing too. Yep, she can sing. I
Gotta
mean,
save
drop
it.
of a hat.
Save
Her
it.
and
Gotta save it for June.
yeah, and Jennifer Hudson can sing at the drop of a hat, like just right there. Those two. That's it. Nobody else. It's just amazing. So those are singers with an A.
What is that? One of your friends?
Hmm?
That's one of your friends right there?
No, I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. That look like people of color. I don't know. I was reading too
Oh,
fast on the
man.
paper. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
them people of color
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on, really?
Let me see if we could get away with playing one more song. They might mute this whole thing. They might mute it and shut it down. I don't know. We're gonna
Yeah,
try
you're
it
gonna
anyway.
get strikes. Wow.
Nah, not no strike. Not from the Al Green. You know, maybe
Oh,
if I play some Charlie Murphy.
maybe. I like those the stories that he tells. That he told. Very close to his brother. It's like he ain't go nowhere without his brother.
It's like, and then these, right? They were setting these fruity picks.
I like the story about the guy who came to the
Man.
house, the drunk guy that came to the house. That's my favorite.
Mm,
And of course, the Rick James ones.
yeah. Crazy.
He said,
Crazy
"Oh
like
my,"
that.
he said, "My tooth hurt. I must have went to the dentist. I must have went to the dentist yesterday." It's never because you were being an idiot, you know. Something else had to happen.
Right.
That was great. And then you ask Rick about he don't know nothing.
Right.
That whole thing was hilarious. That's a man that
How
can
much
say
was
Rick. That's a
how
man
much was
that
Al Green used in those movies? You know, think about the movies and how much Al Green was used in. Even in
yes,
Menace to
and
Society.
especially in
Remember
black
they was
movies.
riding around?
Yes, that's what I was talking about earlier. I was talking about that with my daughter earlier. She was like, no, it was in a lot of movies. That's what she told me. It was in a lot of movies. Mom. I'm like, I said that one just comes to mind. Okay, first, goodness.
Remember, Let's Stay Together was in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that weirdo movie. Yes. What I liked about that movie were the two angels. I did like that because that's how the angels was dealing in the good book. You know, when you think about angels, think about them too, because that's exactly what was sent. Them.
Yeah.
Those are nothing but assassins. Let me
Man,
tell you something. They were angels. Those were assassins, man.
I
Those
love
were
that
not
shit. They was
angels.
getting busy.
Right. Those weren't angels in the good
They
book.
act like they rehearsed that shit before they walked in. He's like, what time is it? All right, come on, let's hang back for a second. They came at the appointed time.
Yeah.
They came at the appointed time. Yeah.
The appointed time. That's right. In the good book, that's who I think about when they talk about them angels who sent, angels who rolled up on Abraham. That's who rolled up on right there. So ain't no punks with no wings. Always kept his shirt off, didn't he? Always naked. With an E, naked.
Naked.
Yeah, always naked.
Huh?
Stay naked.
Yeah.
I wonder if he ain't had no shirt on when he got hit with that grits.
He didn't.
He didn't have a
No,
shirt
he
on with
didn't.
no
He had
grits.
that.
I bet you he put his shirt on after that. Okay, so he got booted. I told him not to play that. I told him not to play that. But we'll see what happens. So let's see. So I'm gonna talk about that. I'm so tired of being alone. Video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. The one where Al Green is at uh, Soul Train, and check out his outfit and his accessories. I don't even know what to say about it. I mean, I saw it a long time ago and thought the same thing, but then I had to look up some articles about this about it because of his birthday and everything, and then came across the video and was like, "Oh my god, what is he wearing?" Oh, so you know the industry had him at that point. Now we see why his father was so dead set against him going into the music industry. You know, even if you looked at Jackie Wilson, he was kind of off and definitely not in the church, but icon anyway. But there's reasons for everything. But like Nala said, he found the church, he found the cross, so that's where he went. Um, so that was his type of help, which I think is cool. I don't have any problem with that. Whatever can make you better, right? So most of the articles I get will come from peer review articles online, or at the university level, which I didn't go to the university level for this because I just wanted to go with basically the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame article and Black Past, just to keep it simple. And because usually it brings out, the academic ones articles bring out, everything, and we don't need to really be talking about that, that negative stuff. It was in the past, and these people are better now, so we don't really need to go there. But nevertheless, no one's perfect, and we just need to deal with that. I respect anyone who can come out of that situation and make it better, regardless of what they used to do it. And woe to those that try to tear people down for being positive, regardless of their spiritual system. Nobody has the right to come in and dish your spiritual system, especially if it's of the Lord, if it's of African spirituality. Um, so that's all I have to say about that. Um, but yeah, so I hope he's rebooting. It takes forever for him to reboot because I really wanted to hear this song actually because it's he starts off with the acapella and then like it has the guitar and then you get that step beat like somebody's using their foot to bring the song in, and then here comes the organ, and then it's like party time at that point. So I hope he can get it to work, and I hope he doesn't get any strikes either. But yeah. So I think I do want to do Luther Vandross, obviously. And I think I'll sing one of his songs. I think I will do that. I'll embarrass myself and sing the songs. I've been practicing my singing, so I think that I'm ready to sing a song. And I think I'm gonna try a Luther song. I know that's pretty ambitious, but you know, if it's a song that you really like, you probably will sing it correctly. Well, that's how I feel about it. If I do bad, I hope somebody will just tell me, you need to work on it a little bit more. Especially trying to, sing songs the way the original person sang it. It's really hard to do. But I'll try to make it my own without trying to make it my own because I want it to sound like Luther's. But we shall see. We shall see. And who else do I want to do? I probably want to do Duke Ellington too, since I'm like a fan. So I probably will do that and like tie in the time period with it and drag in Harlem Nights with it because that'll be real dope. Did you hear that? That the Duke Ellington thing. Like I can do honor
I
him,
sure did.
pull in
Uh-huh.
the time period and Harlem Nights. That's dope, right? So I'll work on that. Especially that time period, very important. to Black people, Black culture. Right? Right.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I seen what was that? A couple days ago, Coming to America and Harlem Nights was on. That Reese told Red Fox, I would tell you to kiss my ass, but your blind ass probably couldn't even find
You
it.
probably can't say it fast. Yeah. He said, bitch, please. That's what he said. I said, is that where that song came from? Is that where
Fuck
Snoop
you,
got it
old
from?
bitch.
Yeah.
You old bitch. He talking
Because he's
crazy.
swallowing the container.
Well, swallow it and shut the fuck up.
He's
That's
like,
what he told
that's what she said. She said, I had my mouth all ready for some hash and you got tuna.
him.
Yep. I know how that is. People say, "Oh, I have this," and you go in there, it's not even there. You getting all worked up for it, and it's not there. I understand that completely. What she say about her hoes in the office? She said, "I'm an honest hoe." That's what she said. She said that, and I'm an honest. Oh, and all my hoes is
Then they
honest.
said
That's
they
what she
made that.
said.
They
Huh?
made that movie for to help him pay his taxes. Red Fox. Nobody took no money.
Really? I'm
Yeah.
sure it made tons of money. That movie, tons. It was genius. I loved it. Everything. I loved it. What did they have to do to get rid of that enemy? Yeah, it's in that movie. It's in the movie.
Hmm.
What they had to do. Yeah. Open shut case. Just saying. That's why I love that
Right.
movie. Because it show you what you got to do. Uh, uh, uh. So, yeah, that's going to be dope. I'm going to do that skeleton thing. His hair was fried, dyed fried, and laid to the side, wasn't it? Wasn't it?
Yep.
1923. 1923. That 1920s is pivotal time in Black history.
Mm.
Yes.
Malcolm X wasn't born yet. He was born for 2 years
Nope.
after that.
There you go. There you go. So,
A
just
shout out
saying.
from your friend.
Who that? Let me see. What color? Oh.
He says, "We know the Al Green. We know the Al Green. Al Greeny. We know the Al
I'm
Greeny."
not. Look. You've been overseas. You know how they love us. Overseas. You know that. Here and there. You know that. They acting like they
Hello.
don't like us
Yeah,
right now.
for the Al Greeny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they acting like they don't like us right now.
We are here for the Al Greeny Martini.
Creamy. Oh man.
We are here for the Al Greeny Martini.
Oh man. Bells can do that
I don't
accent
know.
so
I don't
good.
know.
I'm gonna tell her to do it.
Are we doing that? Still got to do the auction one day this week.
I forgot. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the reminder, you know. I gotta donate. I forgot about that.
And some people got to do to get these books right here. Yeah, it's going down. And we still feeding children, 50 children, 5 days a week. Tumultuous mission to feed the babies. And it's spring break over here, so they're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get these people to these schools, or if they consolidated in one location or not, or if they just suspended it for this whole week. So I don't know.
The lunches are not going. I think the I gotta check that here.
Yeah.
My little one refuses to eat school lunch, so that's why I haven't been keeping up with if they've kept it going through spring break.
So if y'all ain't investing your whole entire stimulus for these folks who getting stimulus, set a portion to your side after you do your investing and all that, and collaborate with some people in your neighborhood. You know, start feeding these youth.
Are you
It'll
going to
change
spend?
their
People
life.
say, Are you going to spend that check? Yeah. That is not. That's not reparation. That's a little bit of change. It's like I've been debating all day about this whole $1,200 check. Like
Right.
for real? Yeah, I'm gonna spend it. Absolutely.
Yeah. There's some investment opportunities out here. Get involved, and make an impact.
Investment opportunity. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So just think about it. Be a little wise about what's going on. And then watch your tax return next season to see if they take this money out.
Oh my God, they put a hold on everything. 0% interest on this and that and all this other stuff. And man,
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as we come out of this, because we're gonna come out of this, everybody's gonna be on unemployment, right? And then the bill's gonna come back.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gonna have bad credit. So this is
Yeah, the
just
housing
awful.
industry don't care nothing about your life. Okay, they
Nope.
coming for this. The banks neither.
Nope.
The cars. You know, even though with this loan situation, they can put those 60-day payments to the back of your loan. They could do it.
They could.
They could do it with your
Yeah, I'm sure in the
mortgage.
fine print.
They could do it with your
Mm-hmm.
lease. They could do it with
Yep.
your car note. They could do it with
Yep.
your utilities. All of that. They could do it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, the light company good for that. They good for that.
everybody can do it. It's within their power to do. Well,
Yeah, but as soon as this thing is
do
over
what you
with,
got to do.
that's it. It's a wrap.
I ain't deferring shit.
Di-
You get you gonna get my shit. The only one you
exactly.
get.
Exactly. Now
I ain't playing like that.
Disney is gonna stop paying its employees on the 17th. So that's what, 4 more days?
Mm.
And then they're up, the creek. Okay. So mm-hmm.
What the
Yep.
like the Disney? What the theme parks?
The theme parks and whoever is not essential, I believe. Whoever's home and not essential.
That is
That's it.
gangster. That is gangster, boy. I tell you.
Yep. This is a way for them to start over.
Yeah. You saw
This is like a
Boeing got a
reset, right?
bailout. Boeing got a bailout. They was bankrupt.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they got it. And a whole lot of others got it.
Yeah. Yeah. $17 billion
It
bailout.
sucks. Mm-hmm. And that money got to be paid back. People say, oh, they don't have to pay it back because, yeah, you do. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren are paying for it.
Eb said she taking over this auction. She said she want them pictures.
Well, you being stingy with them. Let them go.
I don't know. I might hold off because I'm waiting for some more pictures to come too.
See?
So I could have like a bona fide auction with more than just these couple of items.
I knew you were hoarding.
The benefit is great. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's yeah.
Over there hoarding.
Hoarder.
It's like the Goodwill. Like we get the first pick before you take the rest of the stuff. Before you put them out on the shelf.
Okay. So I'll do that then. I'll do that. I don't want no trouble. Okay. I don't want no trouble. Yeah. So I'll do that. In these books. Man, shout out to D-Lay, man. Mr. Did You Miss Me? Mr. I'm Glad You Asked. Mr. Take It In. You understand what I'm saying? The journey behind the smile. www.itsdelay.com. Get that book. Get that book. Okay? And if you was a staunch supporter over here to this particular platform, you will receive this book. I know who you are. It's not a lot of y'all. Okay? Not a lot of y'all. That's staunch supporters. We got some great support ship over here. Support ship. Okay. Support us. But a few of y'all, because it's only 8. I got 8. You know. But y'all not getting my copy because it got my name in it. Okay. Can't get it. Sorry. The rest of y'all can get it though. Y'all can get it from www.itsdelay.com. Okay. And get my sister
Michelle
Barbie
Obama signed copies $150 at Barnes Noble.
150.
150 signed copies.
I'm about to sign.
Come in a beautiful box and everything. I was looking at it like, oh.
I'm about to sign my name to one of these books. Okay.
Nobody don't do nothing for free.
$2,000, boy. Yeah, get this book from FarEx. The shit starts with you. I think this is like a 16th or 17th book. You know, she's a writer, she's a publisher, she's an editor. Okay.
It's a hard thing to do. Yep, hard thing to do. I commend her.
She got
I
it.
commend all those people who pump out books.
Publish those books. Okay.
Yep. The struggle is real.
And she all kind of stuff. And she got a show coming up on the 18th in a couple of days. This Saturday, I believe. Is that Saturday?
I'm not
Scoop with FarEx. Yep, this Saturday. Make sure y'all go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go over there and get interviewed. Is it interviewed? Yeah, interviewed. Yeah. So yeah, it's going down. And we got paid interview slots over here. Okay. So tell a friend to tell a friend. You recommend somebody and they pay for an interview slot, you get an interview for the free. Okay. Free 99. Free 99.
What'd you say?
Okay. Free 99. So if you recommend somebody over here, if you recommend somebody black, let me get close to the microphone because some of this stuff y'all be trying. I don't understand it. I don't know why you would do it.
Mine was a mistake. Honest mistake.
If they're black, then I gotta go through a list and write a list. If they're black, if they're straight, I gotta go through that because
there's requirements. There's requirements.
Yeah. There's plenty of other places for you to go if you don't qualify. Here, it's the least of your troubles. Okay. So, you're straight and you're black and you're proud. Okay. You are welcome here. Okay. You know. So those business owners, some authors, some poets, and DJs, the MCs, the whomever. As long as you meet those requirements, you are welcome,
Educators,
welcome,
right?
welcome. You're educators,
Okay.
philanthropists,
Okay.
spiritualists, healers,
I hope to be a philanthropist one day.
dealers, you know,
Dealers.
whatever it is.
What?
Dealers, organizations, revolutionaries,
Oh,
whatever. All of that. And then some are welcome here. But your white friends and those others that cannot and will not be allowed here. Okay?
I was
Thank
doing
you.
some research on them Tuaregs, those African warriors. I mean, they live in
Hmm.
they live in the Sahara though, but it was some other tribes that was that they work with, and yeah. So I wanted to talk about that, especially the houses. Like I got some information on the houses because I did hear that in the debate once, and I was really excited to see them in this particular documentary, and I'm like, ooh, okay, all right. So, yep, that's I'm loving it. To go back to the old ways, they're still living in the old way. Like, I mean, every day is full of work and travel, migrations. So it's interesting
Right.
in this fast-paced world that there's still, ancient people. Interesting.
I guess I got to define what's black too because,
Oh, I can do that presentation for you. Want me to do it? I have my notes and stuff. It's already ready. Just tell me when.
yeah, we could do that one day.
Yeah, I
I'm just
can.
saying simple requirements because, people be showing up,
Some people don't
all kind of
understand
stuff.
though. I mean, you be explaining it, but they just don't understand, and we keep having these mishaps.
Listen to rap music. You live in a black neighborhood. You eat ribs.
If you don't know what the Uchiwali is,
Um, you can play spades and dominoes. I guess
can't do
all those
dominoes. I'm
things
still black. Goodness.
they still don't make you black. Okay, they don't make you black. All right. You have to
I
have
bring it
black
out.
parentage, not ancestry. Black parentage.
Talk about it. Talk about
I
it.
guess I'll just leave it like that. I'll leave it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's after 12 o'clock. I can't be
Oh,
getting into
nation
all
not
that.
desired.
I can't get into all
Oh,
that.
nation not
I
desired.
can't. You know what I'm saying? Paul Mooney said everybody want to be a nigga till it's time to be a nigga.
That's right. That's right.
That's
I
what he
spot
said.
him
That's
right
what he
away.
said.
People
I
telling themselves.
spy
That's right.
with my little eye.
hmm You can tell. I don't even have to say a word. I just know. I recognize it. And I leave it like that. And I know who to mess with, who not to.
Yeah. So if you meet these requirements, we got a special for you. Yeah, I need the poets too. It's National Poetry Month. Let's, you know, National Poetry Month. Let's see if we could get some poets over here. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have a poetry night. National Poetry Month.
I tried to
I
write
think
some
we could
poetry
do
some
that.
years ago. And it was like, oh, you know good. That's not good. I gave it up.
You know,
How do you
see
know
if I can get Delay over here
who's a good
to
poet
host
and
a
who's
comedy
not? Like,
night.
really?
You know, Shout out to
I
Tangerine
think I'm gonna make some.
Thomas. Make sure y'all go check her out. She got 2 shows over there. She got Tangerines Who's Got Talent, and she got Tangerine Shoot Your Shot. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't they are not letting Corona stop them from shooting a shot, even if it's virtually, okay? And for your talent. So make sure y'all
I don't
check
know
out
how I feel about that, but okay.
Tangerine. That's my sister. She ain't playing no game. Okay. Shout out to her husband, Clayton Thomas. Team CT all day. Okay. Them folks is getting it together. So shout out to them.
I'm trying to order
Shout
my
out to
beret, but
Queen
they're
Dale.
playing games.
Shout out to Cindy Mo.
Glendale.
Shout out to the fam. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think we took up enough of the family time. Okay.
Yep.
Don't know if I'm coming back with knowledge form with the science. I might do it if I'm moved by the spirit.
You probably will. You probably will. Knowing you probably will.
I might bust some
Inspiration will come
freestyle
from
tonight.
somewhere. What?
Oh, it's National Poetry Month. I might pull out some poetry. I got some spoken word up in there somewhere.
That you
No?
wrote yourself?
Okay.
Oh.
It was like nonsense. It was like nonsense. Don't nobody want to hear that shit, son.
The revolution will not be televised.
It.
The revolution
Will not be digitized, televised, snitched, stool pigeoned, hall monitored. None of it.
Yeah, that snitching thing gotta go, man. Like seriously, like
Snitching.
need your neck ring.
Your
You need
neck.
your neck ring. On the internet, they call it doxing. That you need your neck ring. Twist you up.
Twist it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what's your final thoughts before we get out of here, Sister Sass?
My final thoughts is happy belated birthday to Al Green. It's still his birthday in California. Okay, so
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to
I tried to play one more song. They said fuck.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up
Right.
volume 3. Yeah, because I just remembered it. That's what I'm gonna fall asleep to. Volume 3. And you said we can't talk about Black Lightning, right?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Because I want to talk about everything wrong with Black Lightning. That's what I want to talk about. Everything wrong. Yep.
Bam.
Everything wrong series. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Because the more I watch it, the more upset I get. But you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the cat is in her kitty tree. Thank God. She's in her kitty tree.
Things that make you go, Let's see what I got for the week.
That's the worst superhero. Never mind.
Go. Yeah. Gotta figure something out. Let me see my schedule. Let me say the schedule before we go. Before we get the phrase that pays. On the soul train. Let's see. Live at 5 tomorrow. We got Bossed Up Stacks in the building. Shout out to Bossed Up Stacks. Harlem on the rise. You don't want no problem with these guys.
He take
Harlem on the
questions.
rise. He does.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Wednesday we got Black Survivor Die class.
Of
Okay.
course, I will be right there on time as like I always
Y'all
am.
know what it is.
That's right.
Thursday we got Ensuring Our Black Future right here. I'm gonna roll my dice and see if I could get Baba and Mama and to get the Ultra Rolls. Baba Ming and Mama and Koyo.
Well, Friday
See if I
night.
could get it live at not Friday, Thursday live at 5. See if we can get it live at 5 on new traffic jammy jams up in here. I'm roll my dice and see. Roll my dice and see.
I also want to do. I also want to do something about on chicken. So one day.
Bark, chicken. Oh,
Yeah, I don't want to repulse you, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
Now we good talk about the chicken. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Nasty.
Bark, chicken. I play that song. Bark, chicken. Bark, chicken. Hey, gets.
Yeah, because it's what the scholars say. I'm gonna have to pull out
That's
primary sources.
so
Yeah.
we got some more slots, and we're supposed to have a new series coming to the channel this Saturday. Okay, so more to come on that. So yeah, this was a tribute to the man, the myth, the legend, the musical genius, Al Green, without the E at the end. Okay. It's your brother Knowledge One and Sister Old Nation Not Desired,
Oh, nation
aka
not desire. That's right.
aka the assassin.
The angel in disguise. Um, Black culture is rich, and this is why we talk
Rich.
about our culture. When they say we don't have none, they're liars. And that's all I want to say about that. So, here's a phrase that pays. Shalom, shalom, shalom.